This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klaus. Let's get started.
When you see God's Rust surrounded by armies,
I'm sorry I couldn't buy us more time.
then know that its dissolution has come near.
I mean, I have great faith in the gods. I think that no matter what happens, they're going to triumph over this.
Then let those who are upon the pinnacle flee to the mountains.
And it's not really our place to judge, but to serve.
And let those who are inside the city depart.
I think if you gave me a few days, I could learn enough deep speech to try.
And let not those who are out in the forest enter it.
I'm an archaeologist. Disrespecting the dead is kind of what I do.
For these are the days of vengeance,
I just want to know what the fuck I am.
to fulfill all that is written.
Do not heed the visions of false prophets. Do not become what they want you to become.
Alright, Scales. It's up to you now. You've got this.
Welcome
We'll
back
only
to
stay like
Embershore.
3 weeks this time.
No.
I swear to God, tomorrow morning I'm gonna find you all and just say his name, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, we're leaving the next day.
Yeah.
We're leaving the next day. This has been established. We're not staying more than a day.
Push them back. A voice breaks through the sound of thunder and lightning in the night. Green eyes glow from white-boned creatures hungering for the life they once held. The knights ride upon tall horses and brandish spears of bronze flashing light in their charge. Clawed bones bring one of the horses down as an older veteran with long grey hair and a clean-shaven face rolls off into his feet and into the fray of bone, his cape of the sun tearing in the wind. He's quickly surrounded as another knight turns his horse towards him. The younger knight, the bearded half-orc, waves his way through the ruins as the grey-haired veteran is swarmed with a final flash of golden sunlight before darkness. Remembrance of Luminant Ordner Sor Calthast. Previously, as the bronze scales seek Vesper's mother, Halos, they finally arrive outside the docks of Smo, the Afridi city next to the burning sea in the Plain of Fire. As they approach, a vision of cold and dark comes, revealing the Sphinx of Black Mask, who has found Tasha at long last. A blast of deathly energy breaks from the sky, dissolving this vision as Vesper's heart stops as she sees the spirits of the dead watching her and stealing her confidence. Deciding to push onward into Smo, the Scales meet with Coyote, a strange contact of Raj, in a sports bar outside of an arena. They learned of where Halos might be in a profane house and manor to a celestial master. The Scales made their way there before having Amsen turning into an insect to sneak past a peacock in the garden and then into the manor, finding Halos in a temple to the celestial master, cleaning it there. Signaling to her subtly, as an Aaron Yes guard was watching, Halos found an excuse to leave where the Scales came out of the sphere to meet her in a kitchen, Vesper and Halos embracing. But the Aranyas bodyguard was suspicious and broke down the door before Ellory finished her teleportation circle. Amsen slowed her down enough with an iron door conjured from his patch, allowing the Scales to escape as the tall celestial of porcelain and gold hair revealed herself. We come back to the story here. After falling through the circle, distant thunder rumbles as you are shot through space. Cool mist on wind sprays your faces before you come to a sudden stop, falling upon the stone floor of the teleportation foyer beneath Norbell Tower. You're in that nearly empty stone room with a few stone benches along the edges. What do you do?
think at the end of last session I had ring the bell.
Okay, so you ring the bell. A moment later, a eye slot opens as you see a private Covenant guard look in, recognizing you, and begins to unlock the door.
Can we tell what time it is from outside?
You're under the ground, so you can't tell.
Oh.
He opens the door, gesturing you out. Recognize you. I'll get the officer. Wait here, please. And he leaves for a few moments. Mm-hmm.
I am taking off that bracer that was part of our disguise. Because fuck that.
Okay. A few moments later, a familiar two figures return with the private Covenant. One is familiar, a shorter female human in her 30s, dark brown hair, who you met last time you came here. She comes to greet you, and you see another individual, an older gentleman, walking beside her. He's short and thin, bearded, hair to his shoulders, salt and pepper, older gentleman, maybe in his 50s. He has a wide-brimmed hat and a white button-down as they approach you. The older man addresses you. Officer Lynette has informed me that you are familiar with our teleportation circus. Yes. Friends of Meli? Forstky?
Indeed, that is correct.
Yes.
And if I understand correctly, you are the Scales. Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I would prefer heads up if you can in the future. But otherwise, your tariff for use of the circle is unnecessary. Frank, as Mr. Norbert, has ensured that.
Thank you. We were in a bit of a hurry this time, but we'll keep that in mind for the future.
Understandable when traveling across the plains. Officer Lynette will see you out.
I'm sorry, what was your name, sir? If we're familiar, I can alert you next time.
Of course, I am Arcane Executive Harold Revold. I'm on the Nexus Trust as the Arcane Officer. It has been a pleasure to meet you all. I will get back to it. He smiles and gives this kind of strange half bow before leaving. You with Lynette, who will walk you out, essentially. Out of the foyer, up the stairs, through the library, and eventually out of the Norbel Tower and into the night. It's a clear night. You're not sure what time it is. There's lights throughout the city as you're being escorted through the courtyard to the front gate.
Does Meli work here?
She does work here.
Before we are escorted out, can I ask if she is in?
Sure. Officer Lynette, the female that is walking you out, she does work here quite frequently. She's not in at the moment. It's a bit late, but she will be here early in the morning tomorrow.
Thank you.
Of course.
If you want to talk to Meli, we can show you where she lives, if it's urgent.
I'll find her. Don't worry.
There's a clock tower here. What time is it?
It is 8:30.
Do I know where Varys is usually at 8:30?
At that hour, he's usually back at home at that hour.
Fuck. Okay.
Barring some Covenant skirmish that got a bunch of people wounded, he's usually back by then. So the city's not as crowded as it is during the day, but there's still plenty of people moving, going to dinner and bars and stuff. Shall I call you a carriage again, or would you prefer to walk?
I think I'm gonna walk, but the rest of you, of course, can. If that's alright, Mum. We should probably talk.
Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on.
Just so that it's stated, Halos is still wearing those bracers, right? Hers?
She is.
Okay. So, you know how I am suspicious about magic items and such. And I point to the bracers, just in case those are more than just, accessories. At some point, I want to figure out what they are, just so that they're not dangerous or anything.
Do it right now if you'd like.
Well, it's going to take me about 10 minutes to do that.
Halo speaks up. They are. They prevent casting of magic. Most of them do.
I'll take off
Do you know
mine.
how to get them off?
I'm sorry.
Do you know how to get them off? Do they need a key or...
Yes. But that's alright, we'll figure it out.
I'd like to try and
we?
pick the lock on that if I can.
Okay. Go ahead and make a lock-picking check. First roll of the night.
Hope it goes well.
We do have it. Oh, lovely. Oh, can't cast it right now. I will...
21.
Okay. Are you just diving into this? I'm gonna actually roll this. I don't know that.
Shit. While Ellory is just gung-ho picking a lock, I will explain. We're in Embershore. This is our hometown. I grew up here. Father brought me here before I could remember.
It's nice. Cool. At which point Ellory begins to move towards her, and she quickly snatches her wrist away. They're protected. They will resist.
I can
not
sure.
sure.
Tomorrow.
That makes sense.
Okay. Give me just a moment, and I'm going to move off a little bit, and I'm going to use we're home, so hopefully nothing's going to try and kill us. I'm going to use my last 3rd level spell, and cast Sending to Varys. Please don't tell Father I'm home. Find an excuse to come and meet me. I'm walking from the Norbel Tower. I need to talk to you alone.
Vesper, is everything all right? What's going on?
Can't reply.
I'll meet you at the tower.
Can't respond to him. So, okay. Fun times. And then I will come back to the group. I'm gonna take Halos by the hand with one of my hands and Amsen with the other. So, we can start heading for home. Someone's gonna meet us on the way.
Is it your father?
Yes, but not Lysander.
She raises an eyebrow at that. It's been a long time.
It has. He's still married.
I still can't believe I'm seeing you. Yeah.
It's mutual. But yes, Father remarried when I was 5. And I want you to meet Varys, my stepfather, before we take you home.
Oh, alright. Okay. Alright.
Not that this reunion isn't touching, but if you don't mind, I have things to do.
Have a good night, Felix.
And I will go find Meli's house. I think I've at least gone past it before.
Okay. And just to figure out where everyone's going, Vesper and Halos at least are going to wait on Varys. Felix is going to go find Meli. The others, what are you guys doing? Where are you going? If anywhere.
Nowhere in particular for Bál, so if he's needed for something, then he's available.
I'm heading home, but I think I want to talk to Bál before that.
Real quick, before Felix goes, he takes the ring from Ellory.
Okay.
The one ring to rule them all? Which ring?
The ring. I gave her the ring of mind
protection. Oh, mind shielding. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to take that and bring that with me.
If Vesper doesn't need Amsen for anything, then after he asks and she officially dismisses him, he'll go home for the evening as well.
Yeah. I'll give him a hug and kiss on the cheek and thank him again.
You're welcome. If you need anything, just let me know. You know where I am.
I will. I do. Have a good night. Say hi to your parents for me.
Oh, good night.
Good night.
Alos raises her eyebrows again as you kiss Amsen goodbye.
Hey, I told her it was Ethan. I introduced him.
She's learning a lot right now. And I think let's do Felix and Meli first. And I will go down the line. So Felix, you roughly know where this place is. It's in this neighborhood, Warm Garden, this sort of district on a plateau where many of the manors and higher quality locations and in many cases people are. It's patrolled more highly than the other areas, very finely decorated with statues and murals on the wall. There's purposely placed ember stones to provide lighting, but also ambiance. There's a fountain in the central garden, like courtyard, where you eventually make your way to the Forstky Manor. There's a few lights on in some of the windows. It's not a massive manor, but it is of high quality.
I will knock on the door.
Okay. A few moments later, the door is opened and you see a tall young man in maybe his 20s. Yes.
Hi, I need to talk to Meli.
Are you with the Nexus, or who are you?
My name's Felix. She knows me.
All right. Wait here. He closes the door again, and a few moments go by before the door is reopened. That young man is still there, and Meli as well. Hey, Felix? Do you want to come in?
Yeah, we have work to do.
Oh, okay. She guides you in, and eventually to a room, a library. Looks like a study where a desk has been placed and make a makeshift office. All right, so what are we working on?
All right, first, let me catch you up on a few things. And I will let Meli know what's been going on, the fact that all of her friends and possibly her are harbingers, and that at least the vessels for them and the weird spooky harbingers are going to possess them theoretically. But while I was talking to Walker, he mentioned that he had sealed his harbinger in a section of his mind so that he could maintain his own autonomy. So, I was thinking of ways to shield the mind, and I can make this, and I pull out the ring. This prevents anything from going into someone else's mind, telepathy, things like that. I don't know if it will prevent the harbingers, but it does have another feature where if the one wearing it dies, their soul can stay in the ring. I'm wondering, with your expertise in abjuration, if you could possibly turn it into a prison instead.
It's a lot, but theoretically, yes. It's compartmentalizing either for protection or for imprisonment of the mind and the soul is very different, but it is possible. What you said concerns me a bit. If these supposed harbingers are already intertwined with the soul, we would have to find a way to separate them and just imprison one and not the other. Possible, but we'd have to do some work on it.
Well, I'm open to any suggestions.
How long are you going to be here?
Not long, but I can leave the ring with you. The only problem then, you'll have to teach me how to make a schematic, rather than the ring itself. I can re-enchant it and adjust it. It's a trick enchantment, not a full one.
Well, why don't we start by looking at the ring and see how much we might be able to change it to fit your needs.
All right.
So with that, Felix, can you make a Arcana check with advantage, working with Meli kind of tonight to just see what is possible and what will be your best way moving forward?
Aye, aye, Captain. All right, what is my Arcana? That is a 19.
Okay. So you discover it is possible to adjust this enchantment to maybe make it more of a prison, to remove the choice of the soul, and have that soul, or have that choice bound to whoever is attuned to the item. It will take some time to change that enchantment. It is not clear, because there's no evidence one way or the other whether bound souls or mind will be able to choose or split who is imprisoned or not. She suggests one of two options: either leaving the ring with her and she can enchant it and then eventually get it back to you, or she can work on designing an enchantment and then sending that information to you, so that you can perform it.
Well, as long as she has the ring, she can communicate with me. So she could theoretically walk me through whatever she's doing when she figures it out.
Okay. So is that how you want to approach
I think
this?
so. On the off chance that Meli's one, I think that's even more terrifying than Ellory, so at least she has the ring for a little bit. And if we learn anything else, talking to our Sphinx friend, I can keep in contact with her while she's working on it.
Another question is, and I guess this is more of a DM question, does she have a pouch? I don't think she does, but I'm not sure.
She doesn't need a pouch. If she has the ring, it's one of my enchanted items, so it functions the same way.
Yeah. I meant more for, like, being able to put a ring in the pouch. And
that only functions within 100 miles, so even then it wouldn't be, so I would have to re-enchant the ring. But I have an idea of how that might work if she can figure out what the changes to the enchantment would be. I know it may take longer, but I'm working with what we got.
Okay. So Meli agrees that she will work on it, and then as she kind of uncovers the methods for it, she will tell you through the ring.
Good. And it keeps us in contact with Meli for a little while longer, in case we need her.
And, okay. Anything else as y'all are kind of working on this?
No, I'll just stay the night and help her do that. If I need to meditate halfway through to keep her rest, I will, but...
Okay. And let's jump back to Bál and Ellory. I think y'all were kind of heading out, wanted to walk together for a moment.
Before we start walking, I'll just say to Bál, hey, do you want to stay at the sale tonight? I don't like the idea of us splitting up too much.
So I had fun bartending last time.
Okay, that's good. I think I guess we start walking, but at some point, not too long into the walk, I stop again and turn to Bál. Hey, will you come down here for a minute?
I'm beside you, right? Like,
yeah.
You mean, okay, so Bál kind of looks at you weird and kind of lowers himself.
And I am going to... I'm going to give him a hug. And I think he would probably be able to feel that Ellory is shaking a little bit.
Is everything okay?
It is now. It's just, you were the last one to get through the circle when we got out of there, and I don't know, for a moment I was afraid that I'd left you behind. Like I left Ezekiel.
I don't think you left a secret behind. And I don't think it's fair for you to think that you did. We all miss him.
I try not to blame myself for it. But I was the one who had to make the choice. I'm glad you're still here. I was scared for a minute.
Honestly, that was one of the easiest missions we've been on. I didn't even have to... All I did was stand there.
Sometimes that's a lot. How are you doing, Bál?
I don't know. I don't really know what I've done in the last... It's been like a week, I think, since the incident with the Titan Serpent, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's been...
Or less than a week, even?
A few days?
Yeah, it's only been a few days.
So Bál's just like, I don't even really know what I've done in the last few days. I mean, I know what I did. I don't really know what I did.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell where any of our choices are leading right now. But you've been through a lot. I've said this before. I know you don't always like to talk about things, but, my ears are here if you need them.
Like you said, sometimes just standing there is a lot.
Hey, Bál? I know I don't ever really say it. Or, I guess I try to say it without saying it. But you know I love you, right?
I know. I do too.
And I am going to give him another hug before we start walking again.
Okay, and as you continue to walk through Embershore and the evening growing later, we flash back over to Vesper. Vesper and Halos, who are waiting beneath the Norbel Tower with the massive bell and the huge ember stone. It's maybe the size of a boulder, a Mini Cooper, glowing at the top. You see carriages moving by, people walking this way and that, a few patrolling Covenant. And you all who are passing through the city do notice the Covenant every now and then will kind of nod to you as you're moving throughout the city.
As we wait, I'm gonna just kind of explain to her about Embershore, talk about the stones along the coast, and the Covenant, and kind of describe how they uphold the laws, and also that we recently bought our own law and abolished slavery in the city.
Interesting. It's beautiful.
It is. And the people here are great once they get to know you. And I'll talk about, my friends' families and just kind of fill her in on some of our misadventures, maybe not all of them.
And she just has kind of a warm smile, just kind of happy to hear about your life. And after a few minutes, you see a figure riding towards you upon a horse at a swift gallop, not charging, but like a pretty decent trot. And as he gets closer, you see the tall and broad veteran form of Varys with his left stone shield in place. And he's in his armor, it appears like.
Yeah.
As he rides up.
One of the first things, before he gets here, one of the first things I did tell Halos, after I was kind of explaining, Lysander remarried and everything, I do tell her that he carried her wedding ring until it was needed to help me out of a situation.
She squints as you don't give enough details on that, as Varys rides up, pulls the reins of the horse to a stop. Vesper, you're right. What's going on?
I just think we need to talk before we go home.
He kind of glances to Halos and then back at you. All right. Here.
This is Halos, my mother. Halos, this is Varys, my stepfather.
There's a long silence. I see. He dismounts, holding the reins in one hand. Actually has to let go because he only has one useful hand, and reaches his hand out towards Halos. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Varys. I'm glad you're okay. But then looks back towards Vesper, almost more saying it to you, but saying it to both of you.
I will, I'll take the reins of the horse. We rescued her from slavery. This is the safest place and the quickest for us to come. And you said it would be alright if I brought her home.
Yes, of course, we'll find a place.
Yep.
He looks at her forehead where the glyph was carved in. You can see a bit of half-dried blood for when it was maybe agitated and bleeding a bit. And he reaches his hand up to it and places his thumb upon it. He closes his eyes and there's a little bit of light that comes, and you see some of the scars healed over a bit, though it doesn't fade. I'm afraid I don't have her prowess in healing, but hopefully there's something. All right. Well, home.
Home. I just hope the two of you could talk and figure out things a little before we bring Father into this.
I believe Ascenda is going to play a big part in this. Mm-hmm. As he begins to walk with you, taking the reins back from you and leading the horse back home.
Cool. I'll try and facilitate some kind of conversation between them as we go, but you know me and my charisma, so.
As you try to do that, Halos just kind of sighs. Vesper, I appreciate you trying to mediate this, but it's been almost 2 decades. Neither one of us was sure who was alive. I don't expect either of us to change the course of our life now. I will be glad to see him again, just as I am glad to see you again, but I do not want to interfere.
I know. I just want you to be happy too.
I'm already happy. You're alive, the sun is alive. You're here, away from that place. You've apparently abolished slavery here. I'm very happy, very proud, even though I've just met you.
Well, I'm sure you'll hear all about all of the things I've done. Some of them are a little less heroic.
I'll be glad to hear them. She gives you a warm smile as Varys sort of continues to stoically and quietly walk ahead.
Yeah. Cool. We'll go home.
Okay. You guys eventually make it home and are standing outside the door. All right, well. Varys opens the door. As you guys enter, you see Lysander is kind of sitting on one of the chairs and is reading. Apparently up or waiting, not sure why Varys rushed out of home in the night and donned his armor really quickly. Varys, you're back. Oh, Vesper. And Lysander stands up, still holding the book, jaw open, as Halos and him their eyes meet. And there's a few moments of silence and stillness. You see a few tears well up in Lysander's eyes. Halos, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And Halos moves towards him and embraces him, wraps her arms around him before pulling him away, her hands on his shoulders to look at him. And you definitely got your height from her. She's about your height. And so Lysander, she looks down at him a bit. Do not be. She wipes his tears away. You did what you must to get our child out. You had no choice. You did well. They embrace again before pulling away. I'm sure you've had a long journey. Perhaps I'll warm some water so you can clean up after all this. Varys kind of relieves himself to go prepare a bath or warm some water or fix something, leaving Lysander, Halos, and Vesper.
I think Vesper's been by the door, just kind of awkwardly fiddling with, I don't know, the hem of her jacket or whatever. Told you she was alive.
You're right. I shouldn't have doubted you. I saw her. I saw her be slain by the Ifrit. I saw them take her away. And I saw them chase you. And Vesper. I was sure that was the end. I was sure I died that day as well. Halos then begins kind of retelling the story for you, Vesper, about everything. About how Lysander, when he was young, he was a bonded driver, saving up for books and equipment to learn alchemy when he met her. He wasn't any good at it then, but they fell in love, and soon she was pregnant with a child, who would have, when born, become a slave as well. They decided to escape. They waited until she was nearly showing to run, and spending all of his money, Lysander was able to, with Halos, keep ahead of the Ifriti Imperial Seekers. But there's a lot after them, as he was bonded with the Sublime House of Ocus, the highest order in Smo, ruled by the sovereign Sultan Lucio Cygnus, who sent many Ifriti Imperials after them. Eventually, far from Smo in the south, nearly out of earshot of the insidious sea, they were found. They tried to run. As Lysander ran with now born baby Vesper in his arms, Halos right behind him, the Ifriti tackled her, grabbed her, slung weapons into her. As Lysander saw what he thought to see her die, and kept running. They chased him as well, but eventually was able to make it out. Travel out of the fire plane and here into Severwin, where he eventually made his way across the mountains and into Embershore.
I want to ask him, when he gets to the part about being in the mountains, I'm going to describe that cave that we found a long time ago when we went to Ustax, with the table that had the alchemy burns in it and the statue that Amsen has from the fire plane.
He kind of smiles and nods. I couldn't find it now. It's been years, but yes. I stayed there for a long time.
How long did we live there?
I wasn't in a good place then. I wasn't keeping track of time. Well, distraught, but maybe a month or two, I'm not sure. Eventually, though, I knew I couldn't raise you on a mountain and came off of it. Came down here, found work, and, well, you see it as he looks around to his shop. Listen, Vesper, this is more than I could have ever dreamed. Seeing you again, hearing stories about my daughter growing up and making mistakes and learning, and it was a pleasure that I didn't think I would ever have. I always held on to hope that maybe Lysander made it out, but maybe that's what kept me going all these years, but I hope we can, and she looks at you, Vesper, I hope we can continue to share stories. I will find a place here, find work, and maybe we can share dinner sometimes.
There's an inn down by the docks. Ellery's father runs it, and he's always short on staff, it seems. Maybe we could set you up there. Be a room.
I like that. I'd like that. Well, tonight, at least, stay here. We'll sort that out. Mogthur's a good guy. It's a bit rowdy, though. We'll find something for you. They then kind of begin to kind of break into having tea and a few snacks, and every now and then telling various stories, laughing, hearing your stories. Is there anything else you kind of wanted to get out of this scene? Is there just kind of talking late into the night?
Does Varys come back into the room at all?
He eventually does. He gives you your time and space, but eventually will kind of rejoin once it seems like the heavy emotional stuff is gone.
I want to make sure he's okay, as we kind of... Maybe I'll help him get something out of the kitchen and make sure he's all right.
You follow him into the kitchen as he pours or finds a bottle of wine, begins opening it. Same stoic Varys, doesn't show much.
Papa, you doing all right? I know this is a lot.
I know, Vesper. I'm fine. I'm still your father.
Always.
He nods at you and puts his hand on your shoulder, which is the Varys version of a hug.
Oh, please, I pull him into a big hug.
Okay. That's what I really wanted. All right, let's get back in there.
And then just before bed, I do want to explain to them that we're leaving probably tomorrow afternoon at the latest. Now we've got business. Well, yeah, I know Halos is going to be lost, but they know kind of what's going on, and so I explained to them it's that end of the world shit, and I'm honest with my fathers about it.
They all kind of accept that, and Lysander, well, I guess let's finish the portal then. If you're going to be leaving. And we'll continue, basically. That conversation late into the night, sharing stories, explaining things that happen. Good times, happy, funny stories, sad, frustrating, dark stories, all mixed together.
I'll bring up at some point that I'm dating Amsen, because Halos knows.
Okay.
They don't, but she does, so.
Lysander seems to get it. Varys is kind of like confused, but it shrugs. Okay. But yeah, you'll stay up late into the night sharing stories, and eventually we'll find rest somewhere. All right. Were there any other scenes or anything else you guys wanted to do tonight before we pick up in the morning?
I will, but I want to give Amsen the opportunity first.
Yes, Amsen, you went home, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Did you want to have a thing with your parents?
I guess so. I mean, I wasn't here when originally, so I guess now that I'm here, now is a good time to do it.
All right. So you open the door, and you see your mother who's humming. She has a mandolin over her lap. It's kind of humming along with the music. You see your father, who is clearly like got off work, but hasn't got around to like cleaning up yet. He's still covered in soot. He's taken off his apron, but that's about it, and is kind of sitting back with a beer as you walk in. I think get up. Your mother, of course, first to come over and hug you, embrace you, pull you in. Your father slowly gets up, walks over to you, embraces you as well, son.
Hello. Sorry I've been gone for so long.
It has been a while, hasn't it? Glad you're back.
I know.
It's been almost a month.
We just kind of get into things and, just have to pack up and leave, so I don't know.
Well, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
We are. I made, well, I didn't make the whole thing, but I made part of the statue they put up. The scale, your symbol, as he points to. I don't know if your bronze scale is visible or not with your jacket, but he'll reference it at least.
Yeah. It's not, but yeah. Thank you.
Pleasure. Well, you want a beer?
I guess so. I'm not gonna be here for long. We're not. We've got a lot of things to do, unfortunately. No.
Again.
Don't know when we'll be back.
But you're coming back.
That's the plan.
Please do. I'll make you cherry pies, or you can sing songs. You have to come back.
I know. Everyone would love that. I know. No, we've got a lot of things. Well, mostly I don't know. I'm mostly going along just to make sure that they're fine. I mean, I feel, my friends are the heroes. I'm there to make sure they stay alive.
Don't say that, Amsen. We've heard the stories.
Yeah.
Meli's been over. She's told us all about you all, and all that you've been able to do. Maybe we don't fully grasp everything that's going on, but we know you're capable of so much. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Anyways, my plan is to make sure everybody can come back. Can all, get all together again. Have a happily ever after and all. So, that's my plan at least.
Good. I missed you.
Missed you too. I always do.
And they'll kind of smile and they'll ask, how have you been? What have you been doing? They'll ask you to tell the stories about what's happening, which I'm sure you regale them, maybe not, I don't know. And they'll share stories about what they've been up to as well. A lot of work stories, not nearly as cool, but stories all the same.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to specifically touch on?
Not specifically. I'll probably just what's it called? Tell them about our last adventure, leaving out the most dangerous parts, and telling them that Vesper's mom, we managed to rescue her and bring her, so she'll be around every now and then. and that she's a very nice lady and all that. So
okay, you guys share these stories. You catch them up. Your father cracks open a few more beers as the conversation goes on. Your mother, as she kind of is naturally one to do, will end up passively strumming an instrument, a mandolin, something in the background as you kind of sit around the fire and tell these stories. Eventually, feeling exhaustion of your past journey and finding rest. Amsen, as you fall asleep, and it's one of those things where you wake up and you're not sure how long it's been. Is it the next day? Has it been 15 minutes? You can't tell. You see your dad with his hand on your shoulder, kind of waking you up. I know you're going to be gone tomorrow, and I know you said you're going to come back, and I hope you do. But I want you to take something with you. It's not much, but it's something. Maybe you'll think of home. And he hands you over some leather straps. These were reins of horses from Deadwood before you came to Embershore. It was one of the first things he tried to get you to make when he was trying to make you his apprentice before coming here, and Calvin kind of took that position. And he's kept it. It always reminded me of you, and well, maybe it'll help you think of home. Give you something to come back for.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Be safe.
You too.
He gets up and walks towards the door to leave and stops. Looks over his shoulder without facing you. I love you, son. And then leaves.
Love you too.
Anybody else for tonight?
Yeah, I would also like to check in with my family when I get home to the copper sale.
Sure. Yeah. Just to check in, Bál, I know you and Ellory were walking together. Did you decide to stay or come with her to the copper sale, or are you going to your camping spot?
No, I think Bál was invited to go to the copper sale. Bál doesn't have anywhere he needs to be, so unless Ellory says she needs some time alone, then Bál will join her at the copper sale. Okay. Even if just to go hang out and have a beer while Ellory sorts her stuff out.
Okay. So Bál and Ellory walk into the copper sale. It's busy, busiest time of the night. It's maybe 9 at this point. Mogthur is behind the counter, slinging ale and liquor. As you guys walk in, he yells, throws his arms up, runs around the counter, lifts Ellory up and hugs, spins her around before kind of friendly punching Bál's leg. It was a friendly nudge.
Hey, Dad.
Ellory, Bál. You came just in time. Setting up shops over here. He's slurring a little bit.
Oh, what's going on?
It's a good... Business is thriving. It's a good party. Today, we're expanding business.
Oh.
And he reaches over and grabs one of the bottles, takes a swig, and hands it to you.
I will take a swig as well.
And he'll do that thing where he grabs the base and kind of tilts it up to make you drink more before passing it off to Bál.
And I join along with the drinking.
Glad you're back, Ellory, as always. How long are you staying this time?
Oh, well, not very long at all, actually. I think we're planning to leave tomorrow, probably fairly early.
so soon. It was very quick, but
and kind of hearing that will kind of guide you away from the noisy bar upstairs.
I wish we could stay longer, but we've still got a lot to do.
Well, understandable. You have a very big destiny about you, and the sky is opening up, and hopefully you can make that not a thing. That'd be great.
Dad, how much have you had tonight?
It's not every day that you become the proprietor of the winery, so forgive me if I'm celebrating.
That's a great reason to celebrate.
It's not saving the world, but it's saving people from sobriety one drink at a time.
So you got the job.
I did. Not ownership yet, but we'll be running it for a time.
Oh, wow.
If you're just going to be here for a few hours, we can hang out with Scherzer and tell stories or get a bite to eat or something.
Yeah, I want to spend as much time with you as I can. You know that letter that we wrote?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't. Which one?
The one to Mom?
Oh, yes, that one, yes.
Did she send a response?
She hasn't.
Okay.
Maybe she just is busy, or if I hear something, I'll talk to Meli. I know she can reach out to you.
Thanks. And maybe I can have Vesper check in, make sure that she's okay.
Yeah. You could.
But it seems things around here are going pretty well.
Splendidly, yeah. And he'll kind of go into everything that's been happening here. The good, which is the abolishment of slavery. It's been kind of a slow process working through the law, and then actually beginning to enforce it. They built a statue in the Devil's Yard, actually, of a dragon with the name of the Bronze Scales and more bells upon the pedestal. The good that he was able to secure the job for running the winery. He doesn't own it or anything, but he might could work up to that. And the bad, which is that the skies opened up and they have to perform specific death rituals so bodies don't burst out of the ground on occasion. So there's curfews in place, gates are closed.
I'm sorry, what?
That's, okay.
It's not that bad. I mean, it's not everyone, but just sometimes more than usual. The undead skeletal department of ours has been very good about killing them.
When did this start?
Not long ago. A few days.
Yeah,
A day, two. It's been a bit of a whirlwind.
That's shit.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Well, fuck. Well, okay. I'm glad to know about it anyway. I have the feeling that's connected to things.
It's a lot, but it's managing it. Plenty of other bad things in the woods, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but you remember what we said last time. Just make sure you come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can.
He then tries to change the subject into more happy news and talks about the decorations of the winery, or at least tries to. Scherza comes out. Mogthur orders food from the kitchen downstairs, and it's bar food. It's good, but definitely not healthy.
It's comfort food for Ellory.
It's comfort food for sure. But otherwise, you'll kind of catch up on things. Was there any other things you want to specifically touch on as you are sharing stories and conversation?
I think that about covers it. I'm going to try from here on out to just steer the conversation towards happier things in general.
Okay. And Mogthur and Scherza are happy to oblige in that and kind of enjoy these moments, these short time they have with you. With that, I think, does that wrap up the things you guys want to do tonight, basically? I think so. Okay. It's a little early for a break. Did y'all want to break now and catch up in the morning? Okay, that feels right. So go ahead and take our break now, and then we'll wake up in the morning and go from there and see what happens.
Next time on Back to the Story.
Speaking the name over and over again, the rest of you start to feel this as well, this reverberation. Behind you is still the dimmed vision of Embershore and the forest and Severwind, and before you is a pale forest of darkness and shadow. You only see a few feet in front of you. You see a large figure, hulking and furred, wearing a dark mask. As you see the Sphinx before you.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.